So as you can read here, Zohran Mamdani under fire after NYC mayoral debate, silence on Hamas, globalized the Intifada support. Many of you are not surprised about this. We all know, or at least some of us know, and if you don't, now you know, that Zohran Mamdani refuses to denounce Hamas, a terrorist organization, and refuses to denounce the terrorist slogan, globalize the Intifada, that him and his followers were chanting throughout the protests going on in New York, the pro Palestine, free Palestine protest, which were pro Hamas protest, right? He won't do it. He is a terrorist sympathizer who will not denounce Hamas, nor the slogan globalize the Intifada. Now, it's even more scarier when you go down this road, is that as you can see here, Mamdani appears smiling arm in arm with unindicted 93 World Trade Center bombing co-conspirator and terrorist apologist. Okay? Look at him here. So not only will he not denounce Hamas, a terrorist organization, not only will he not denounce globalize the Intifada, a terrorist slogan, but as you can see here, he's taking pictures and very friendly with a co-conspirator of the 93 World Trade Center bombing. This apparently is a good friend of his right here. Right? Now, when you take all this into consideration, you really have to think to yourself, economics aside, how safe will New Yorkers be with a man like this in charge, who is a terrorist sympathizer in Zohran Mamdani, especially in the face of news like this here? How many of you are aware of this? From CBS News, man living in Louisiana connected to Hamas October 7th, 2023 attack on Israel, US says. Yes. A man connected to the October 7th, 2023 attack on Israel, a terrorist, found his way to Louisiana, to where he lived, resided, and worked. The man had a job. And surprise, surprise, he came into the country under the Biden administration, no more than a year after issuing out or being a part of one of the greatest acts of terror this decade. Allow me to come over to this New York Times, or I should say this Fox News article here, because I want to give you guys a little bit more information on this guy. And then we'll get into the actual video of Curtis Sliwa walking off the radio show with his former friends, who he apparently is not going to talk to anymore because he finds it offensive that they want him to drop out the race to save New York, right? But first, let's get into this Fox News article next. So the title reads, Johnson Scalise demand answers after suspected Hamas operative discovered on U.S. soil. How do you say his name? Yaqub? I think it's Yaqub, and some of you know why I'm laughing. So if you know, you know. Yaqub. Yaqub al Mahati Matidi. We'll just say Matidi was arrested in Louisiana last week, Department of Justice says. And the article reads as such. House Majority Leader Steve Scalise is sounding alarms to the Trump administration after a man allegedly involved in the October 7th, 2023 terror attack in Israel was arrested in Louisiana. Scalise led Republicans in his state's delegation, including Speaker Mike Johnson, in a letter to the Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem about the case of Mahmoud Amin Yaqub al-Matadi. The lawmakers asked for a briefing from Bayou State lawmakers, as well as information on any other potential terrorist threats, which they blame on the record surge of illegal immigrants coming across the US Mexico border under former President Joe Biden. The article continues to read, we appreciate the job you are doing to keep America safe here at home and write you as members of the Louisiana congressional delegation to request a briefing regarding how Mahmoud Amin Yaqub al-Muhtadi came to reside in Lafayette, Louisiana after entering the United States in 2024 during the Biden administration's dangerous open border policy, Scalise's letter said. He cited public information and reports that al-Mutadi is alleged to have participated in the October 7, 2023 Hamas-led terrorist attacks against Israel and to have entered the United States the following year after falsely concealing his affiliation on his visa application. It was that easy for terrorists like him to come into the country under the Democrat Party. And you want Mamdani to be mayor of New York City? You guys are crazy. You guys are crazy. But let me calm down. I'm about to get a little beside myself. I'm not even done reading yet. Okay. The article concludes he was later located driving and working in Lafayette, Louisiana, before being taken into custody by federal authorities, the lawmakers wrote. It was that easy. This man participated in one of the greatest acts of terror of this decade. And under the Democrat Party, said, hey, you know where I'll take cover at? In the United States. Why? Because the Democrats are in control. And nobody loves illegal immigrant terrorists and gang members as much as the Democrats do. And since they have the border wide open and they're just going to roll the red carpet out and let me right in, here I am, where I'm living and going to work every day. Thank you, Joe Biden. Thank you, Kamala Harris. That's what this guy said. Now, once again, let's go back over here to what we were looking at earlier, man. You have a guy in Mamdani who will not condemn Hamas, who will not condemn the slogan globalized intifada. He's friends with a co-conspirator of the 1993 World Trade Center bombing. And in the midst of all this, with him being a terrorist sympathizer and a Hamas sympathizer, you have Hamas terrorists that have come into the country under Democrat rule where they were living among us. You have to ask yourself, how safe will New York City actually be under Zohran Mamdani? And the thing is, with these terrorists roaming around the country, because Lord knows how many of them are actually here, you think that you guys, you radical leftist lunatics, are going to be safe when guys like this terrorist that was just caught decides to commit an act of terror, God forbid, in New York? You think they're going to spare New York and say, hey, that's where they were chanting globalize the intifada at? You know, that's where they were all wearing their little, little hijabs and the Palestinian checkered garb. Like, those are our people over there. They wanted to help us. No, dummies. They're going to strike you guys down just like what they were doing in Israel. God forbid. But you're all too dumb to realize that. And you're potentially bringing the devil at your front door by voting in Zohran Mamdani.